We are back. How is everybody doing? My name is Alan Roberts. A lot of you know me as that angry bald man. A lot of you know me as, God, that fucking asshole. I hate listening to him talk, but too fucking bad. I don't give a shit. And by the way, to my friends on Facebook, are your feelings hurt yet? Because this one's going to hurt your feelings a little bit more too. So this I have talked about before because I believe it was Remy Bader, the famous for nothing fucking chick, Remy Bader, fat girl. Who I think she's lost weight now. Congratulations, Remy. You're still famous for nothing. But which most of fucking Hollywood is, just to be honest. Think of the Kardashians. She's famous for getting fucked and fucking having her mom pick out which porn, like literally which porno her mother decided which one they should leak. Look it up. It's fucking crazy. But anyway, so people get like pissed off when they get to a horse riding ranch and they aren't allowed to ride the horse because they're fat as fuck. And my point to you is you're abusive as fuck. You selfish piece of shit. At no point in time should any person that complains that they can't get on the back of a goddamn animal because they're too fucking fat ever be taken seriously about any fucking thing ever goddamn again. That's animal abuse. And in my house, abuse of animals is taken very, very seriously. And I can imagine somebody saying what this one woman is about to say to Crystal and what my wife would do. My wife is a very lovely, peaceful woman, but over animals, she will do and shit that would fucking literally make the devil go, holy fuck. You know, start taking notes because goddamn, I cannot believe that people are upset that they can't do things when they've eaten themselves out of the ability to do them. It's like I heard somebody complaining they couldn't zip line anymore. Like, motherfucker, you're 300 pounds. There is like literally it's not safe for you or any goddamn body else. It's wild. Oh my God, Taylor. Worked on multiple farms and ranches, and the amount of people that have called us fat phobic for not having horses that fit them is insane. That's fucking crazy. Fuck those people. Literally fat phobic. First of all, fat phobia is not a real goddamn thing. A phobia, and everybody follow along. If you never heard me say this before, everybody follow along because this is my spiel on this. A phobia is an irrational fear of something. So nobody would ever be irrationally fearful of obese people, an obese person, because frankly, why would you be terrified of something that you could outrun by walking backwards at a moderate pace? Secondly, there's no irrational fear of being morbidly obese because it will fucking kill you. There's no irrational fear of it. There is no irrational fear. The only person I can honestly say, the only type of people I can honestly say that could possibly be construed as having some type of phobia about being fat are anorexics, but we call them anorexics. So it's wild. Obesity is not something that there's no irrational fear of it. It is unbelievably horrible. Yeah, same shit as people getting mad because they're too fat to ride roller coasters. It's not the employees telling you it's gravity. Exactly, boy. Son, excuse me. Anyway, shouldn't call you boy. But you're a full-grown man. Anyway, we're gonna go to this. My apologies. We are gonna go to this. And I think, yes. Okay. So this is the first person. All right. This fucking horrible ass fucking individual. But let's listen to her 2 minute and 42 minute video, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here we go.
Let's talk about weight stigma and fat phobia in horseback riding.
Already, it's just dumb. Already, it's just stupid. Just dumb.
I'm Alyssa, and I'm an Orthodox Jewish and in binge eating disorder recovery.
Unless you're losing weight, you are not in binge eating disorder recovery. You cannot be considered to be in recovery if you are not actually actively losing weight. I'm just going to say that because and this is true, if you got morbid, and this is again. I consider myself one of the best weight loss coaches in the country. As a binge eater myself also, if you gain weight because you're a binge eater, right, which she's clearly fat as fuck, but if you gain weight because you're a binge eater, and then you stop binging, unless you are replacing those calories that you used to binge weekly with daily calories, you should lose fucking weight. You should lose fucking weight. It's not hard to understand. You should lose weight. You eat all week. You binge like 2 or 3, once or twice, or whatever times of a week you binge, right? You binge thousands and thousands of calories that add to your weekly total that cause you to gain weight, right? And then you stop the binging, and you should eat just at the normal level you were. So if, say you eat 3,000 extra calories from a binge, or 3,500 extra calories from a binge, you should lose somewhere around a pound if you don't binge anymore. But instead, you spread it all across the day. You're not recovering from shit, right? The idea behind that is ludicrous. Now, don't get me wrong. We have many clients that come to us that are very severe binge eaters. And the idea is let's just stop them from binging. We don't want them to be inordinately hungry, anything like that. That's one of the reasons why we even reached out to Mark to help create No Morbidity and Alchemy, which you can get at ambrosiacollective.com right now. You can buy one of the bundles. One of the bundles, you can get 50% off on the bundles that have No Morbidity, Alchemy, and Ember and Hydroglyph in it. If you use the code capital M, capital F, ING, capital C, capital O, or if you just use the code MFNCOO, you get 15% off the entire website if you don't want to get one of the bundles. But anyway, so that's the reason why we did, because most binge eaters do not take feeling inordinately hungry very, very well at all. They don't really take it very well. And it does trigger binges often. So some people, if they can't take the supplements or don't want to take the supplements or can't get a hold of the supplements, we literally have them just like kind of level up every day and avoid a binge. I'd rather you be a little bit more satiated and not binge than binge, because the binging has emotional toll and stuff like that. However, then once we get you not binging for a couple of days, we count the days and everything like that for a week or two, then we start trying to peel away the calories by adjusting your portion sizes and stuff like that with the portion control drills and habitual things we do, hydration, blah, blah, blah. Right? But I can guarantee you that this woman doesn't drink enough water. I can guarantee, because she's puffy as fuck. She's inflamed as fuck. And I can guarantee you she's eating a ton of ultra-processed food. Most binge eaters, to avoid binging, you need to get away from the ultra-processed food, because that's the thing you binge on. Nobody binges on fucking carrots. I mean, I know people have binged on carrots, but that's not the thing that got you fucking fat. It's just not, right? So here we go. Oh, by the way, No Morbidities works wonders. Haven't had hunger pains since I started. Hell yeah. AmbrosiaCollective.com. Go get it.
Girl from Kentucky. I have always loved horses. I love trail riding. I used to horseback ride at camp. And
when you were a child, before you got fat as fuck, right?
While I was never this plus size necessarily.
You're not plus size. You're fat as fuck. It's such a fucking, I mean, plus size is a couple extra pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds, 30 pounds. If you are 100 pounds overweight, which you easily are, you're multi-sized. Or we can just call you fat as fuck, whichever you prefer. I don't care.
My whole life, my weight did fluctuate as a kid, and no one ever gave me a hard time about my weight and getting on a horse.
Because you weren't as big as you are now.
Regardless of how fat or skinny I was.
Because you aren't as big as you are now.
But throughout my adult life, in more recent years, I've encountered several situations where I would not be allowed to ride a horse because of my weight. So
because you're fat as fuck, and it's animal abuse, like literally animal abuse.
Last summer, I was looking at different ranches out in Montana and the Dakotas, and under like the horseback riding FAQ, it said weight capacity for horseback riding, either 200 or 250 pounds. It varied.
Yeah, it varies on the size of the horse, because they normally shouldn't carry anything. They shouldn't carry on their spine anything more than 10% of their body weight, is what I understand.
I don't know how they check that when you get there. I don't know if they're going to like look at you and say, you look like you weigh more than 250 pounds. Get
but you clearly do.
On a scale, fatso.
Why not? Why not? You're getting on the back of one of their animals, a creature that they care for, that they love on, that they take care of, that they feed, that they take to the vet, that they nurse when they're sick. And you're upset because they might put you on a scale to make sure that you're not too fat so you don't wreck the fucking spine of the creature that they love. People that do horses love horses. Like, they love them so fucking much. They're not easy animals to take care of. They're really not. They're expensive. And vet bills for them are wildly expensive, like wildly expensive. So there's monetary reasons, but also it's cruel. It's cruelty. You are selfishly fucking wanting to get on the spine of another animal because you want to go riding, even though it might hurt the other animal. And you refuse to believe it will hurt the other animal because you're not fat as fuck. Oh no, you admit you're fat as fuck. What the fuck?
I don't know what they're going to do. I think the whole situation is like a little weird, but I was not about to book an entire trip out west to be denied.
What is weird is that you don't understand that you're too fucking fat to do some shit. Like you're too fucking fat to ride a roller coaster probably. Like I tell you this right now, if I get on a roller coaster and there's a 290 pound person in the fucking gondola thing next to me, I'm getting off that motherfucker. I'm not staying on that motherfucker because physics and the structural integrity of like things like metal and rubber and plastics exist, just like in this case and in the cases of humans and animals. The structural limitations of bone, cartilage, connective tissue, muscle, ligaments, tendons all exist in the fucking real world at the same time as gravity existing, pulling your fat ass down on top of it.
On the spot, like the one thing I really wanted to do there. I'm not entirely sure why the weight capacity is 250 pounds. I thought most horses were like these load bearing work animals that like help farmers pull things, at least.
Coming from a livestock sized woman, this is quite comical to me.
In the olden days, I don't know like why the horses of today are so weak, or
They're not weak. You're just fucking huge.
Know why the industry is so against fat people getting on their horses and denying them that joy. So
you're denying that. They're denying you joy, the joy of abusing their fucking animals. You piece of shit human being. Like you're a piece of shit human. This woman is fucking so disgustingly horrible. It's wild to me.
The reason I'm making this video is because today at my daughter's day camp, they had pony rides. And I don't really like pony rides for like animal rights reasons, like horses walking in a circle. So I guess they're...
Oh yeah. I didn't even know she was going to say that. So you don't like animals walking in a circle for animal rights reasons, but you want to fucking throw your fucking bigger than any NFL lineman ass on the spine of a horse. And that's not like animal rights reasons. Like what the fuck? This is again, I'm sorry, but being this fat makes you fucking cognitively impaired. There's no logic. There's no critical thinking. It affects the executive function of the brain. Factually, like by 25%, it increases the decline of executive function of the brain by 25%, eating the way they eat and having that much fucking fat on them. That's wild. That is so insane. I got to hear it again. I got to hear it one more time.
Day camp, they had pony rides, and I don't really like pony rides for like animal rights reasons, like horses walking in a circle. So
animal rights reasons. This woman is complaining 2.5-minute video about not being able to get her fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow ass up onto the back of a fucking horse and she's worried about animal rights reasons for them walking in a circle. As a newsflash for you, they train a lot of horses on a circle. It helps exercise them. You dumbass fuck.
Some miscommunication between the pony ride people and the camp, and some of the older girls who were a little bit taller were told that they couldn't get on the pony. My daughter was
because they're too big. Why have we reached a stage in society where we can't tell people you're just too fucking big, you're too fucking fat, you weigh too fucking much to do this thing that you want to do? That sucks for you that you're not going to be able to, but I understand, and I do know that this woman's probably in her mid-30s, and she grew up in an era where they had the participation trophies, and nobody was a loser, and everybody tried to kiss your fucking ass, and you were applauded for any little fucking thing you do. As long as you showed the fuck up, people were like, "Oh, she did great." She finished 5 minutes after the last person in the race, but she did fucking great. Fuck that shit. I mean, it's so fucking wild.
Told that she was too tall, and then her friend was told by the pony guy that she was big, and my daughter
because she was big
said that the guy,
oh my god, somebody told the little girl the truth. We should call the cops. What are you in England? Jesus Christ.
Said that to another friend too. I don't know the name of the company, so I'm not going to say it here, but I had to do a lot of building up in carpool on the way home from camp, and I'm glad that I was the one.
You should have done a lot of building up by taking that kid running. You should have done a lot of building up by taking that kid swimming. You should have done a lot of building up by teaching that kid how to fucking cook whole foods and lose some goddamn weight. That's what you should have done. But instead, you said, no, you're just fine, just the way you are. Probably you're okay. It's not you, it's them. It's not that they just didn't like you. You should have been allowed to get your fat ass up on top of a fucking spine of a living goddamn creature.
That was able to like receive the kids after this event. I sort of get a weight limit with ponies, like they're smaller, they're babies, it's different, but like big horses, I don't really understand. Remember when Remy—
Because you're a stupid fuck. That's why. Now, I did find an amazing young lady. When I say I don't mean I. Somebody sent me these videos, and thank you very much, by the way. You know who you are. I don't want to call you out by name because then sometimes people get associated with me and then they get fucking hate and shit like that because apparently I'm the Voldemort of fucking fitness. But here we go. This young lady explains it all very, very, very well. No. Here it is. Okay, good. Boom. Here we go.
I'm not entirely sure why the weight capacity is 250 pounds. I thought most horses were like these load-bearing work animals that like help farmers pull things, at least in the olden days. I don't know like why the horses of today are so weak, or I don't know why the industry is so against fat people getting on their horses and denying them that joy.
Okay, so a few things to unpack there. The first one being load bearing, so like how much weight a horse can carry versus how much weight a horse can pull are two very, very different things. And I will say this as someone who has an actual workhorse, okay? So not all horses are workhorses in the sense that she's talking about. So when we talk about workhorses, we're talking about draft horses, horses that were bred to pull and work on farms. So that is actually very much not the majority of horse breeds. So breeds that you're going to see working on farms, doing logging, plowing, pulling heavy weights are going to be horses like Clydesdales, Belgians, Percherons, my personal favorite. If you guys know me, you know my girl is a Percheron, and I haven't done a full video on her story. I will at some point, but my horse actually was a workhorse for about the first 8 to 9 years of her life. She worked on a Mennonite farm, plowing and logging. And so draft horses, when they're fully fit and in good shape, they can pull thousands of pounds. That does not mean they can carry thousands of pounds.
Exactly. It's two different things. And hang on a second.
Not everyone is able to ride horses. That is what Kat is trying to explain in response to watching this video. So she is talking about how she thought horses were like these load-bearing animals. They could hold and pull huge amounts of weight. So like, why can't she ride a horse? Why are we denying fat people the ability to ride horses and that joy? I think Kat explains it amazingly. There are different breeds of horses for different jobs. You know, the big horses like Clydesdale, they pull a lot of weight. Pull is the key word. They don't carry it, they're pulling it. Horses can pull hundreds and thousands of pounds, but can they put hundreds and thousands of pounds on their spines? No! And then some random person in the comments tried to make it about race, which she responded to in an amazing way. Moral of the story, you wouldn't
We're going to listen to that.
see me riding on a miniature pony because I would crush that thing, okay? If you're over the weight limit for the horse, you're over the weight limit for the horse, and you have to accept that. You wouldn't see me riding on a miniature pony because I would crush that thing, okay? If you're over the weight limit for the horse, you're over the weight limit for the horse, and you have to accept that. Not everyone is able to ride.
Okay, so we're going to go to this, and thank you. I didn't even realize it was going to go to her, but that's awesome. And we are going to do one more here, and it was the I can't even fucking believe this happened. But if you guys can't read what this says here, this is a comment by Ashley. It says white people use the same logic word for word against people of color before the 60s, and it was discriminatory. Plus size people, fat as fuck people, are people and should have access to the same things we do otherwise. No, they shouldn't, because reality exists, you fucking weak piece of shit. But let's see how she handled this, because I thought she handled this Very well.
People riding horses to literal racism is actually insane to me, and I think quite honestly actually insulting to people of color.
It absolutely is. This woman just literally, the commenter literally compared people of color to fucking animals. Like, holy shit. I mean, that's fucking wild, wild, wild. I mean, it's so fucking disgusting to me that people do this. First of all, the whole, if you're, fat phobia is born in racism, is racist fucking statement because it assumes that every black woman is fat, you fucking racist pieces of shit. Every time I hear somebody like Tess Holiday or somebody say that shit, like, you fucking racist piece of shit. You're basically saying that black people are fat, that especially black women, because they always talk about black women, because they want to shut you up. Oh, you're racist against black women. Fuck, I identify as a fucking black woman. I'm fucking angry. The stereotypes. I'm angry. I shout a lot. I got a lot to fucking say, and I scream all the time. Those are the stereotypes of a black woman. Black woman. But anyway, here we go.
Because to diminish their experience down to plus size people not always being able to ride horses is quite frankly insulting to what they have experienced in their day-to-day lives and what their ancestors and their family have experienced for decades, if not centuries.
Right.
Because this is not the same thing. We're not
Exactly.
looking at plus size people and telling them you can't ride horses because you look this way. We're not telling them that. Honestly, half the time we're not even telling them you can't ride horses. Usually we're telling them you can't ride this specific horse. And it has nothing to do with, the way somebody looks. I'm not looking at a plus size person and saying, I don't like the way you look, so you can't ride my horse.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you know what? Unfortunately, because of how heavy you are, if I were to take you and put you onto this animal, you could unfortunately cause them severe pain or health issues down the road. It's not.
Stereotype black woman is crazy. I was making fun of the actual stereotype. And if you can't grab that, I'm sorry. Okay. If you think what I just said was racist and not making fun of racism, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry you're not intelligent enough to grasp that. Okay. I get where I knew somebody was going to get fucking triggered by that. But I've said that bunches of fucking times before. So reality exists. People that say that is the stereotype of black women, they are the fucking idiots. Okay. They are the fucking assholes. No matter what color they are, anybody that assumes that that's the stereotype of a black woman is a fucking asshole. My joke, which is what that was, it's not a dick. Don't take it so fucking hard. But my joke was to make fun of the stereotype. You get that, right? I hope you get that.
Not about being discriminatory, and it's not about limiting access to something. It's about keeping in mind equine welfare and not abusing horses. And honestly, I don't get what's so hard to understand about that, because it's one thing if someone, says the things that this person said in the video and then is properly informed and then they go, oh, okay, that makes sense, move on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another
Right.
thing to continuously argue with people in the comment section on my video like this, because this is crazy. Because you're
Yep.
saying, like, this company, it's not being, accessible to everybody, to all of the customers. Like, these facilities, they need to be getting bigger horses for riding, and saying like, oh, well, like, if they can't carry 250 pounds, like, it's not accessible, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's not going to be accessible to everyone. The reality is that most things in life are not going to be accessible to absolutely everybody.
Right.
Does that suck? Yes. Do I wish that every single person in this world could have the opportunity to ride a horse and know what that experience is like? Yes. I wish that everybody could experience how amazing that is, but not at the horse's expense.
Mm-hmm.
Most trail riding facilities will have a weight limit of about 200 to 250 pounds because most trail facilities only have average sized horses because
Right.
they want to be able to accommodate riders as big as possible without taking too much of a financial hit. Because the reality is that draft horses, the big horses that can carry heavier riders, cost a lot more to keep because they eat a lot more food.
Exactly.
My horse, my 1,800 pound draft horse, eats about 20 pounds more hay every day than the two smaller horses that live in the same field with her.
Crazy,
so
right?
She costs significantly more to feed. And for facilities to have a bunch of draft horses on hand, that cost significantly more to have, to only serve a very small population,
Right.
it just doesn't make sense financially, and it's not the facility's job to cater to that very small percentage of people.
Exactly.
So there are horses that
it's nobody's job to cater to fat people. It's nobody's job. Fat people are already catered to. And if you don't believe fat people are catered to in our society, research why your insurance premiums are so high. Research why we have chronic illness levels so high and our healthcare system is $4.5 trillion a year in fucking shared societal burden. Research why. If you don't think we already cater to people that drink too much, eat too much, and smoke too much by making sure that they don't die from their own actions of eating too much, drinking too much, and smoking too much by sharing the cost of all of their medications and sharing the cost of all of their treatments. If you don't think we fucking cater too much, then you're fucking crazy. Not triggered. Chill, dude. You're new here, aren't you? I think so. That wasn't me triggered. That was just me explaining why I thought you thinking the stereotype was wild and you didn't get the joke. So that's just me communicating. No, but I read your comment and that's what you did say. Have a good day.
can carry heavier riders, which is great. But the reality is that once you hit a certain point, there isn't going to be a horse that can carry you.
Exactly.
And we need more research in weight-bearing capabilities in horses. But we even have some vets who are coming out in recent years saying that they believe that more than 250 pounds is not safe for any equine spine to carry, no matter how big the horse is.
Exactly.
And does that suck? Yes, it's awful. I really wish that that wasn't the case. But it's not like we can really change it. We can't just all of a sudden make bigger horses. The horses that we have today, that like how big they are, we got that through selective breeding, yes, but for centuries and centuries of selective breeding. If we were to try to make draft horses bigger than they are now, we would start seeing health complications, because
Exactly.
we already see health complications in some draft horses due to their size. It is a very
She's excellent. I followed her, by the way. I think you should all, if you caught that. But I'll do about 5 minutes Q&A, and then I'm going to go cook a big fat ass fucking steak to down with my wife. I already got some potatoes, bacon, and stuff like that. Doing a little carbs this week. Sheena, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. Let's see here. People are catered to with all their dysfunctions because somebody somewhere is making money off of it. I point that all the time. Like $4.5 trillion, so basically the way you look at it, if the total healthcare burden of America is $4.5 trillion shared, right? And then 90% of that is chronic and mental illness. And then 90% of that of chronic and mental illness is avoidable, mitigatable, or reversible by lifestyle changes. That's about $3.8 trillion or 3.6 to $3.8 trillion, depending on the exact figures. That is completely because people choose to drink too much, eat too much, and smoke too much, right? So that $3.8 trillion is also coupled with the food and shit like that, the ultra process industry that got these people to be morbidly obese or put them into a state of chronic illness. Okay, that all the industries like the ultra processed food industry, the alcohol industry, cigarette industry, those sorts of things, right? So there is that. They make money. Like they make tons and tons and tons and tons, trillions of dollars. Like if we were to lower the chronic illness burden in America by 50%, the ultra processed food industry would likely lose $1 trillion a year, which is fucking an insane amount of money that we would save to be able to put towards farmers and stuff like that. But then if you look at it, that $3.8 trillion a year just for the healthcare industry, that's our burden. Like that's our shared burden. Like people that don't access healthcare all the time also then have to pay more for the people that just fucking glutton themselves every single fucking day. But the reason that that's fucked up is because that's somebody's revenue. That's the healthcare industry's revenue. And it's not even American companies most of the time. Shit, you look at Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk is a company from Denmark, and they are the largest company in Europe, and they are 3% of the entire GDP of Denmark. Or Norway. Excuse me, Norway. Not shit on Denmark. Denmark's about to lose Greenland anyway. So, but I'll take questions, and then we're going to go. Horse steak? No, I'm having big fat beef ribeye from a local ranch. I've never eaten horse meat. Boom, boom. I find it funny that horses aren't that are big enough to handle the bigger riders require significantly more food than the straight size horses, quote unquote. That's funny. But many obese folks barely eat. That's funny. Fuck. That's funny as shit. That really is. I like it. I like it. But anyway, guys, I'm a little bit over time frame since we didn't get a bunch of questions coming in. I am going to go, and I am looking forward to our one-on-one tomorrow. Outstanding, Nino. Looking forward to it also. And I will talk to everybody later. By the way, one last time, daily communication, weekly video conferences, all the 1 year slots are filled up. However, if you are on the app and you want to get an amazing deal on 1 year's worth of coaching, if you're already on the app, either through Damn Serenity, just there to join the groups and stuff like that. And if you are interested in an amazing 1 year opportunity, you can absolutely send me a message and I will send you a link. It's the best deal you're ever going to find. It's better than any deal that's up there because you've already been on the app and you're already being a supporting member, and we appreciate it very much. But these prices alone, $99.99 for a month, for month to month, $249.99 for 3 months, and $399.99 for 6 months. It's daily communication, weekly video conferences. The weekly video conferences alone would be more than 100 a month. Just saying. So I hope everybody has a great, phenomenal day. I will be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, Mark Lobliner, for Evening Rants. God damn.